Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode.
I did not document very well. I'm kicking myself right now. A friend I saw on LinkedIn, this will connect to training and being a solid manager, and owner, but a friend on LinkedIn, they've been teaching at a liberal arts high school for years, like 10 years. And they're making a big career shift. So they are getting into project management in the tech space. So they're used to teaching algebra, drama, Latin, and the like. And now they're looking to run projects across different departments like web developers, engineers, data scientists, and they want to do project management for that, which is great. That's awesome. He'll probably double his salary within 3 months once he lands a job as a PM. And one thing that I did not do, he saw that I've had a handful of jobs in the past, which is an understatement. But I like helping people that I have a history with, that I've interacted with before. And so that I said, like, yeah, absolutely, happy to help. Here are people that I've learned from. Here's some articles that have helped me. And I have a very scattered approach because I've done it so much for myself, but I haven't coached other people, and so I don't have a solid coaching structure or coaching program. And so normally I kind of get annoyed when people are like, oh, buy my course, buy my program for like $100 or whatever. But really, that's actually a really good bargain. There's people that have had to take what they understand intuitively and then teach it in a very structured, purposeful, results-driven format is so important. And so in this case, it's LinkedIn. So part of it is, what should your profile picture look like? What should your background for your banner be? What should your tagline be? What's your education section? What's your about me section? What jobs do you show versus what don't you need to show? How do you put in buzzwords or keywords without looking spammy? How do you create a good resume? What should your candidate portfolio look like? How do you contact recruiters? How do you find their emails? How do you make videos introducing yourself, reaching out to recruiters? How do you negotiate salary? What kind of stories and preparations should you do for your first interview versus your second versus your third interview? Because they're each very different. And that right there, if I were to put it together, that is 10 hours of instruction right then and there. And the process and the science is the same. LinkedIn will change the algorithm. Recruiters will come in and go out of companies, but your strategy and your mindset and your tactics will change. And I've put together like one 30-minute video on how to do it, but it's so summarized and so general that it's not laser focused and sharp like I want it to be. And so I've shown people the video, I've shown people some guides, but every person I help is a little bit different. And so something I'm learning when we get to the finish line of these deals, which by the way, I talked to the bank yesterday. They're basically going to pitch that they want me to stay very liquid. They want the seller to carry the notes. 10, 15, ideally 20% of the deal for 2 years. And then after 2 years, I can start paying them off. And I'll pay them off after a year. I don't want to have that looming very long. But they're going to pitch that to the seller, and then the seller will decide if that's something they want to proceed with, or if they want to start from scratch with a whole new buyer and see if somebody else will pay all cash. But all that's not here or there. Let's see, so where are we going with that? So assuming this deal goes through with the gyms, I'm going to need to have a very repeatable process for my managers and my instructors. In the gym world, the typical personal trainer retention or attrition rate is 100%. So if you hire 10 people per year, you will lose 10 people per year. That is every single year. Now, you may have some trainers that are like master trainers or like the manager who might stay for 3 or 4 years, but that means you're also going to have normal frontline trainers that are there for 6 months, 3 months, 7 months, 5 years, and it averages out to, for as many people as you hire per year, That's how many people you lose. And it's a hard job being a trainer. You have to work from 4 a.m. to not 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. And then you work from like 4 p.m. to 7 or 8 p.m. So it's not family friendly if you're running out with your kids from school or you want to be present when the mornings start, because you're always working when other people are wanting to be catered to. So it's kind of like retail hours. It's definitely not banking hours. And so when I'm hiring club managers, which I don't know that rate yet, I'll have to learn soon. From what I can gather, it seems to be about 50, maybe 70% a year. Some of the managers have been there like 2+ years. Other managers are kind of newer. So in that whole process, I'm going to need to document, how does the phone systems work? How do we do a sales call? How do we pick up the phone? What do you do if a member doesn't come in for 2 weeks? Someone's credit card is declined. How do you get them back into the billing cycle? If folks want to buy merchandise, how do we run that transaction either through the credit card or in cash? How do we get cash to the bank? What times of the week do we do that? Do we do it by ourselves? Do we do it with a team member? How do we run instructions? When we get instructors, how do we train the instructors? How do we do a continuing ed for CPR? How do we, there's so many things that are not going to change from year to year, like CPR classes, like getting cash to the bank, like hiring a new instructor to teach the 7 a.m. classes. That will be the same thing. But I don't want to repeat over and over how I train so that I forget stuff. If you're in a really good mood, you may have like a very well done training session for your staff. If you're kind of in a funk, it's the middle of winter, you're dehydrated, you're now going to have a sucky training session, and your instructors are going to learn sucky training. And you don't want that at all. You want to be at your best and your brightest and intentionally train and teach people how to do their job and how to do things well. You don't want to micromanage. You want to give them that wiggle room for creativity and having that personal impact that they bring to the table. But you also want them to have the same structure, the same framework, and the same underlying establishment of the job so they can crush it and do fantastic at it. So as I'm kicking myself now off of some skills I've learned in letting consulting gigs, contract work, direct hire jobs, a few times I've documented certain things super well, and I've done an amazing job at it. But now that this is going to be my baby, my gyms, my businesses, my studios, not gyms, but my studios, I need to be very good at how I document hiring, firing, onboarding, continuing education, expansion, just everything, so that whether I sell the business or I hire a new manager or we have to have an instructor come from one location to the next and how that facility operates slightly differently or the same, you want to have solid documentation so that you know what you're getting as that owner, manager, operator. But then your staff also knows that they've got the same training. They all have the same guidance. Everyone knows CPR the same way. Everyone knows this is how you pick up the phone. Everybody knows this is where the cleaning supplies are or where to order new cleaning liquid if you run out. And then it's not like, well, Jill said you order it from Costco and Maggie says, oh, well, we order it from Walmart. And now you have two different price points, two different vendor relationships, and no one knows like how to do the actual thing. And then they call you and then they're like, oh, was it Walmart or Costco? You're gonna be like, well, no, the operating manual, the onboarding system, it all says this, this, and this. And you just revert them back to the learning in the textbook and the training manuals, because then they trust the system and it's not dependent on you to run the show every day. So onboard, train, document, video walkthroughs, and document yourself, because you're pretty dang good at what you do, and you need to put that down on video or on paper so it's easy for everyone to know exactly what to do and how to do it the right way.
This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY Due Diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.